channel.
One can only be taken out by the Achilles, and the other can assess quick enough to take you out in under 20 seconds. Who's gonna win? Welcome everyone to another episode to Be Down, this segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy our content, you know what you guys can do. You can share, you can like, or you can subscribe to our channel. When you guys subscribe to our channel, you know what you do. You guys are building our empire and allowing us to provide you guys with even much more greater content for you guys to enjoy. Alright, and today we're going to do things a little bit different. I've noticed that a lot of people appreciated the brief origin segment. Now we're going to do a separate thing where we're going to do BAFs on their own segment. So we're going to put all of the information for the BAFs, powers, abilities, and feats, and along with the end game, sorry, not the end game, with the brief origins down in the description below. I'll be putting those out before I put this episode out. That in mind, here we go. So we're just going to be talking about the end game, but I'm just going to give you a sort of ring announcer style type of vibe. So here we go. And I do apologize for the location right now. There's a lot more noise where I usually record, so I just wanted to keep it nice and quiet so that way we don't have any disruptions while doing the episode. So here we go. Let's start off with this one. Able to predict opponents' moves before a blow is even thrown in under 19 seconds. He has dodged bullets in point blank range and ended many of them with just a bottle of wine. He comes from the Equalizer film realm. Robert McCall, aka the Equalizer. So let's get into the end game. How Robert McCall would defeat Achilles. Now, let's start off with the fact speed. Now, a lot of people would think Achilles has a much more faster pace, but I'm going to actually make the argument that that's not really the case here. If you notice, if you watched all three of the Equalizer franchise, which I did, you notice in the last one, he dodged a gun in point blank range. Now, Achilles is incredibly fast. He dodged many arrows, he's dodged spears, he's dodged swords, he's dodged multitudes of weapons thrown at him, and he's fast, don't get it twisted. But gun fast? Bullet fast? I don't think so. Robert proved himself in that. So let's talk about the speed. Speed's going to come in handy against a worthy opponent, especially someone who can fight with a blade. Now, if you remember, Achilles fought Hector in one realm, and he was a prince, and he was a general, and he was a pretty good warrior. Now, Hector actually was able to hold his own against Achilles during that fight. He didn't have him like in the ropes for sure, but he still was able to hold his own. I do believe that Robert has extra amount of skills to be able to assess situations where he'd be able to pinpoint certain things about Achilles. For example, where his greatest weakness would be. Maybe he does know about the legend itself. Maybe he's heard the rumors on how Achilles came to be, and then he could take advantage of the Achilles from that point. If not, I'm sure Robert would still use a blade to try to cut Achilles little by little. Now, I don't know if he would actually be able to cut Achilles, since Achilles moves pretty quickly, but Robert also again moves pretty quickly since he's able to dodge a bullet, and he's also able to take out a whole squad of people in under 19 seconds in a room, or even faster than that, I believe. 9 seconds, sorry. He took out everybody in 9 seconds. Apologies, guys. So if he could take out like 3-4 guys in 9 seconds, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind he's fast enough to take out Achilles. All right, another thing is environment and adaptability. Let's talk about that. So if you notice in the first franchise of Equalizer, Robert was able to set up multitudes of multiple booby traps in order to take down a lot of very professional hitmen with a lot of heavy equipment and heavy gear to their corner. So Robert was able to set a trap and be able to take them all out, and at the same time during the process, when he got injured in any moment, he was able to use a certain blow, like a heated light bulb and a heated doorknob in order to burn the wound and all that, and he has an idea of how to survive during a long environment battle. So if Achilles and Robert were put in any certain situation, Robert would be able to kind of adapt really quickly to the environment, finding places to hide, places to make it much more of an advantage compared to Achilles. Another thing is Achilles is fast when he has wide open range, but let's say he's caught in a really small cramped up corner, it might prove to be difficult since he usually uses his whole body to maneuver around certain situations. But if put in a small environment and cornered up, he might have to face a very difficult challenge trying to get Robert off of him in that sort of way. Now, I'm talking about adaptability when it comes to weapons, because if you've seen the franchise, he used a corkscrew or a wine bottle. He's used a credit card, a rich person's credit card in order to take someone out. He's taken a lot of people out using a shot glass, a lot of things. So he doesn't need much to put you out. He doesn't really need a lot. So he can adapt way better in an environment compared to Achilles. Achilles is familiar with some of the certain weapons in there, like the basic blade, the shield, the spear, all that other jazz. But he's not familiar with using a weapon out of a bottle of wine or randomly finding something on a table and making it a deadly weapon. Robert, however, is capable of doing such a thing. Okay, Robert is able to avoid or actually set up pretty good traps. Remember, he used flour and a fan in order to set an ignition when someone started a fire and blew a whole building up that way. So Robert is capable of figuring out ways to use certain things to his favor during a fight. There is no question about that. On top of that, let's face facts, Robert is way smarter. I mean, the guy is capable of observing a lot of details during a fight and is able to figure out certain people in a matter of seconds, which means that he might be able to discover Achilles, where he's going to throw his weapons or he's going to hit him with something, because Robert is fast enough to react to certain things in a much faster pace than any ordinary man. Of course, I have to add, if the two were even put in a battlefield and it was old school versus new school weapons, come on, you guys know Robert's gonna beat Achilles. Achilles, yes, he's got the spear and he can throw it like a son of a gun. He's got the shield that's able to protect him from, spears, and he has a sword to really take a person out. But guns, how does the old saying go? Never take a knife to a gunfight. This would be that type of circumstances where Robert has just so many equipment on him that he could throw a flash grenade, a little heavy machine gun at him, shoot him with a sniper rifle, one handgun. It doesn't matter, because Achilles is fast, but multiple bullets coming at you, yeah, you're not going to be that fast. And the last point I'll make is that Robert is also clever enough to protect himself during a fight against someone with probably a much more tougher weapon. So if he knew Achilles is going to be using a blade, he'd probably use some kind of padding or some kind of protective gear in order to protect himself during a fight against Achilles and be able to block those moves before. And at the same time, now remember, while he's blocking, he has been capable of filleting someone. In the sequel, he was filleting one of his own members for portraying him, and he did it crazy. He used like a butterfly knife or something. He just, not a butterfly knife, he used like an old school knife, bam, 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 and cut him into pieces. I do believe that if he is blocking all those attacks from Achilles at some point, he could probably at some point get down, go for the little cut to the Achilles, and bam, take him out in that way, claiming the W on this end. Alright, on this corner, I will be representing someone who is unable to be struck down with a one-on-one any given time. He has defeated princes and warriors much bigger than him. Coming from the Troy film realm, the one and only Achilles. Alright, so let's talk about the end game with this one, how Achilles would defeat Robert McCall. So, Achilles is really fast. I mean, incredibly fast. He dodges spears, he dodges arrow shots, he dodges other spears, he dodges blades in front of him. The guy is fast. So I would say his speed is quick enough to probably give Robert a run for his money when it comes to reaction time and to be able to assess what he needs to do at a moment's notice. If Achilles blitz him, it's going to be a problem because Achilles is fast. Robert can assess certain things, but he'll only have enough time to grab certain things to help him protect himself while he tries to figure out ways to put Achilles down. While Achilles will just come at him with full brute and speed and force, be able to just take him down with the blade fight. Now, again, between Achilles and Robert when it comes to a sword fight or a blade fight, Robert is skilled when it comes to, small blades, but big blades, yeah, that's all Achilles' bread and butter. So even if they were to fight each other and Robert wanted to get those close shots, there's no chance he's going to get that, considering, Achilles is just incredibly skillful when it comes to that blade. He's fast, and he's sharp, and he is fully quick reactive when it comes to a fight. Now, if we were to go old school with these two, clearly Robert is got no chance against Achilles. Even if Robert uses a spear, a blade, or a shield, it don't matter. Even an arrow, bone and arrow, it don't matter. Achilles is just, this is his whole bread and butter. This is his game. This is his home field advantage. If he's been in countless wars, that's the argument you got to make. If you've seen Troy, you've seen that he's ended wars just by himself, mano a mano. The guy is capable, and he's also fought like several men, and all in a matter of seconds. The guy is crazy good. So yeah, I do believe old school weapons are not going to favor Robert that much in this situation. And of course, Achilles is capable of blocking certain weapons coming at him either way in that sense. And another thing is to mention is that Achilles is stronger than Robert. Well, why would I say that? Well, if you remember, there's a scene in the movie where Achilles cuts a man's head off clean. Now, you can give me the argument that, oh, that's possible, but you would need a lot of force. And you would need the sharpest blade known in existence to be able to do something that crazy in just a split second. And Achilles did that to one of the guys. So I will give Achilles credit where credit is due. Strength-wise, he might be able to overpower Robert. If they were to grab each other or there needed to be a blade being between each other, I do believe Robert's going to be thrown off the ground and then have to face Achilles in that way. And don't forget it, Robert has kind of a limp leg compared to Achilles. Achilles has himself in full physical form to be able to be ready to go in a certain fight against anybody. So Robert would be in trouble in that sense. And the last point I will make is that Achilles has been also known to assess his opponents too. He's able to spot a weakness in a matter of moments. If you remember in the beginning of the movie, he takes this really big giant fella. This guy throws a spear in him. He blocks it with the shield. He throws another one at him. He dodges it himself. And then right as he's about to get up to this guy, and this guy has got at least about 2 feet on him or something like that, or maybe more. This dude, Achilles, jumps in the air and goes for a blade stab into the neck and takes him out with just one blow. Do I think that Achilles has a possible potential of taking out Robert McCall in that sort of way? I do believe so. The two are equally fast. But you got to give Achilles a little more credit because he's fought in wars face to face most of the time. He didn't have weapons, guns, or any flash grenades to help him during a task. He actually had to fight them bare hands with his sword, with his spears, with his bow and arrows, with his shield, which means he has much more of a hand-to-hand advantage and much more durability during a fight against Robert, which would give Achilles the W on this one. But as always, no press fam, it's not up to me, it's up to you guys. So if you like either one of my arguments, you know what you can do? You can hashtag Robert McCall or you can hashtag Achilles. And as always, no press fam, we really appreciate you guys keeping it 400 subs. Peace.